Magic in the Morning with Destiny's Child. It's Tuesday. Beautiful one. My goodness, is it beautiful out there. And Tuesdays, 8:35, we chat with Mike Barrett, 8:36 now. Mike is in with Good Policies with Barrett Insurance. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
What do you think of this weather?
My goodness, it's awesome. Awesome. It's awesome, and it's both a blessing and a curse, right? It's what we've waited for, but then again, I'm stuck inside working in this gorgeous weather. How about you?
So, well, I don't mind it. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be able to wear shorts and a T-shirt like the guy delivering sodas yesterday over here at White's.
Yeah.
Hey, it's graduation season, and, we talk about insurance and this point A and this point B and stuff like that, but you and I were just talking. You happened to have been in St. Johnsbury yesterday during I don't know if you'd call it the high or the low point of the water main break here, but you were honoring somebody near and dear to you.
Yeah. We call her Lou. My sister's always kind of made that her middle name, even though her official middle name is not Lou. But that's what I call her. Emma Greenan was part of the class of 2024 yesterday at St. Johnsbury Academy. And, without water, the graduation went off without a hitch. The Academy preempted everything. And I mean, they had a big reunion weekend all over the weekend, too. So they probably still had some of the porta potties up, but they had more porta potties on campus so that people could use the facilities. And they did a really good job with getting water for everybody. Because, even though it was inside the field house, it was a warm day. And, you don't want people getting too overheated. So a big old congratulatory to the class of 2024. My niece, Emma Lou, is what I call her, Greenan. My cousin's daughter, Hayden Wilkins, graduated as well. Another great family member. So congratulations to the graduates.
Well, that's
and it's
awesome.
A celebration, right?
It is.
You've hit a benchmark in your life, regardless of what fork you're at now. And that's where you're at. You're at a fork. Do you go this way or that way? You pause for celebration for all the work you've done to get where you're at. So congratulations to all the graduates.
Well, and of course, they thank everybody that got them to that point and got them there successful. So I guess we could use this to that tie-in, okay? All right, we've got kids graduating from college. We've got kids graduating from high school, going to college. Not all of them are going to, which is terrible, but not all of them are going to attend a school here in Vermont. When it comes to insurance needs, let's say, for example, Mike graduates this year, and he's going to be heading off to, let's say, a university in North Carolina.
Sure.
Maybe he's going to a trade school or something like that. What does this do for his and the family's insurance?
So there's a couple of questions we would ask then, right? So we would say, so where is Mike going to be staying? Is Mike staying on campus or off campus? That can be a determining factor as to how we're going to leverage the proper coverage, right? If you're on campus, it's part of the schooling, highly likely that mom and dad's homeowner policy, regardless of whether it's a regular homeowner policy or a renter's policy, although the renter's policy would have lower limit of coverage, C, personal property, but up to 10% of the personal property coverage would cover Mike if he's on campus. Plus, liability would still cover Mike because Mike's a dependent of the household, and by reading the contract of the homeowner policy, by definition, is covered as an insured. Not a named insured, because that's mom and dad, but would be covered as an insured of the household. Now, sidestep. Mike says, I'm too cool to go and stay at a dorm. Come on. So Mike decides to go live off campus and rent somewhere. That changes your need immediately because you're now really on your own. It's more of an independent status. So at that point, I would highly recommend a renter's policy in the state, such as North Carolina, or the state in which you are residing in, living off campus.
Okay, so that answered the question I just was prompting you to let me ask here is, so does that make them a resident of, we use North Carolina, so they would have to have the coverage there?
They would have to. So remember, insurance is different every state. So you can't have a Vermont insurance policy covering. Right, I just said you could if it was off of mom and dad's policy. That's totally different because still dependent, not living in that state, so it'd work. But now you're living there, you're living on your own, you really need a North Carolina policy. So whatever school you go to and whatever state you're in, you would need a renter's policy written in that state because you need the state amendatory forms to be compliant. Plus your Vermont and New Hampshire companies aren't going to want to cover you that far anyway, so.
Okay, well, no, that makes sense. And like I said, that's perfectly timed this year.
What's the other big question?
For this time of year.
There's another huge question to think about. Did Mike take a car to school or not?
Well, yeah. See, this is why we do this. We just have so much fun. So they are, whether they stay in a dorm or whether they've got their own place off campus, they're obviously going to be having to work most likely, and they're
Yeah.
going to have to get back and forth to work. And, of course, the fun stuff they do with their classmates.
Right.
So,
Most kids do not take a car with them to school, especially year one. Many schools, especially if you're on campus, freshmen really shouldn't be having cars anyway. At least that's the rule with a lot of schools. But if it is a situation where now a vehicle in your household is now going to be out of state, so again, using Mike in North Carolina, Mike, and in fact, this Mike will be in North Carolina in 2 weeks. But anyway, that's beside the point. So Mike in North Carolina with a vehicle there, if the vehicle's garage primarily still in Vermont 180 days a year or more, there's a few companies that really are okay with it. All right. Some of the more regional carriers, you start thinking like the Concord Groups, the Cooperative Insurance, Vermont Mutual, Union Mutual, Maine Mutual. These are regional companies that really, once you get beyond the borders of where they cover, you start to maybe raise some eyebrows, and they may want to not be so happy about that. But you want to think about a couple of different things, right? You want to be with a company that can help you if you do have a claim in that state. So a company like Progressive or like the Hartford or like Liberty Mutual or Safeco, some of these more national carriers, they may be a better choice at that time because you want to make sure you have a proper claims representation if something happens while you're away.
so now, another scenario here. Mike has a 4-year, schedule to acquire a degree. Okay, year one comes and goes, doesn't have a car, keeps the apartment because he's obviously going to be attending the school to finish out,
Further education.
the
Yeah.
criteria. While he's down there, he finds a great deal on a vehicle.
Yeah, guess what? You're going to register that bad boy in the state you're in and get insurance on it. So, once your garaging is way beyond being in school, and you're really claiming at that point, you're just shy of claiming or being a resident, right? Because you are living there. You're no longer just attending school on a school basis. There are kids who stay where they're going to college and work over the summer too. So these are all things you need to have a good conversation with your insurance company, insurance agent, and you don't want to be caught in a situation where they say, that's not allowed. Let's say you're switching insurance, Jeff, right? So, and that's usually where it means the most. If you are in the process, and everybody's shopping right now because of the pricing, if you are switching from insurance A to insurance B, and while you're switching, you have a student going to school with a car in North Carolina and you don't disclose that properly, that could be considered material misrepresentation to the new company, and they could deny a claim on you. So you got to have that conversation.
I was saying that's getting deep, and we got to tell people to get how to get even deeper on that and the other subjects of insurance. So tell them.
Sure, you can give us a call, 748-5224. Visit us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online, thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency. And real quick, Jeff, most kids will have a laptop or a Mac or something off to school. Most companies, you can properly protect that, even with maybe a little computer endorsement. So if you're in that mindset, maybe that's a question to ask your agent.
All right. Always ask the question, always have the conversation, and always join us on Tuesdays at 8:35. Music now from Justin Timberlake.